I hope we had a great time in the week. Hopefully, we should be able to do something today. If you are joining us for the first time, you're welcome to our class. If you are a returning customer, you are welcome as well. Thank you very much for making it, with us, keeping it a date and all of that. My name is Joy Agagwu, and I am the anchor for this IELTS class. It's a free class. I hope we do know that. You're expected to share, tell your loved ones, tell those that you think they need to know about this class or need to know something about IELTS, especially those that want to study abroad or to relocate. So yeah, if you are here with us, you need to have your video on. It's part of our criteria. Your video has to be on as part of the requirements for you joining the Zoom classes. If for any reason you can't have your video on, please join the YouTube class. Join the YouTube class and benefit maximally so that we are not distracted in this class by trying to take you off and all of that. If you are joining us in this class, remember that it is a participatory class. You are going to be asked questions, you are going to answer questions, and we will all solve together questions here. If you are coming in into any class, please on Zoom, as much as possible, have your audio muted so that your background noise does not affect the class as you come in. Christiana Okoye, Toyin, as you coming into the class, please put your videos on. Thank you very, very much. So last week, we had a class on IELTS writing task 2, and we solved both sides and opinion type of question. We did have a class work, and some of you did your work well. Some even sent something and I was able to go through. I can see that many of us are improving to some extent. Kudos to you. Thank you very much for all of the attempts at writing. You need to keep writing. That is the sure way. Okay, you need to keep practicing. You need to keep working. Go on the night, go to the internet, get questions, and keep writing. Just keep writing. All right, because the more you write, the better you become with your writing. As I teach you, I also become better myself. And teaching IELTS has helped me personally to improve on my writing skills. And if it's changing me, then I know it can change you if you are attentive. So last week we did writing task 2 and we solved opinion questions. We did say that in our writing task generally, there are bands that are things called band descriptors that you are judged, you are rated, you are graded based on them, and we all know them. Most of us know them. We did mention them: task achievement, task response, task completion, whatever you may decide to call it. Talk about the lexical resource. We talk about coherence and cohesion, and then grammatical range and accuracy. These are the 4 things that your examiners will be using to rate your writing, whether it is writing task 1 or writing task 2. The components that they'll be looking for in each of them are different, if it is for writing task 1 or writing task 2, but that they are going to be using these band descriptors to mark your paper. There are things that are expected of you, and there are things that are not expected of you. If you commit so many grammatical errors, it's going to reduce your mark. So you need to mind your spellings, you need to mind your speech, your language, your sentence formation. For your task completion and achievement, we talk about you having not less than 250 words, and then having at most, I did advise that at most it should be 280. 270 is fine. At most 280, 270 on the average, and then you are good to go. Um, the Bible says that in the multitude of words, sin is not lacking. In the same way, in the multitude of too much writing, when you write too much, errors abound. There are so many errors when you write too much. So you need to be careful what you write to minimize errors. You also need to be careful with your spellings, okay? Simple spellings of things that would cost you marks, you need to be careful with them. And so I advise that you go get Microsoft Word and type with it on your phone, because it will help you. For those of us who don't have a computer, it will help you to correct spellings, all right? When your spelling is not correct, it underlines it, and when you click on it, it tells you the correct spelling. That way you get used to, the correct spelling of words. Another thing I did mention was the issue of synonyms, that you need to get your synonyms, and then you need to understand what synonym can be used. All right, what word can be used in a particular context. There are some words that have the same meaning with the words we have, but in that context, in what you're trying to discuss, it does not make any sense. It's not applicable, all right? So you don't have to use it. Not because not just because you think a word is correct and it is, synonymous to whatever word you are looking for, you go ahead to use it. If you use it in the wrong context, it will cost you marks. All right. We also did talk about our sentence formation, and I did mention that you should please make use of the simple and the complex sentences, joining your sentences in the paragraph with linking words, with cohesive devices like words like however, words like moreover, words like therefore, words like although, but. You need to make use of all of those words in between. And then concerning writing task 2, we talked about the types of questions, topic questions that you will find in writing task 2. And we talked about crime, we talked about education, we talked about technology, the environment. We talked about social issues like single parenting, divorce, drug abuse, substance abuse, smoking. Those are social issues. Environmental issues like air pollution, water pollution, increase in green gas and all of those stuff. You will do yourself good if you build your vocabularies around these areas, so that when you are asked, all right, you have enough words, you have a basket full of these vocabularies from where you will dish out, and then you use them and get your marks and go your way. So having recap what we did last week, or what we usually work on, those are the foundations. The band descriptors are the foundation of your writing task. And writing task 2 generally is designed in such a way that it tests your ability to write in an academic style. All right, you must present the information in your own words as complete sentences within paragraphs, and you are required to write over 250 words. Your task should be completed in 40 minutes. You have 1 hour for writing task 1 and 2. Writing task 1 takes 20 minutes and writing task 2 takes 40 minutes. We are expected to write very legibly all the devices. You make use of all the devices that are available to you, all right, ensuring that all aspects of your task is completely carried out as you are instructed. So I advise you that you should not use too many words. So you have to stay within the word limit to help you minimize errors and also to maximize your time. We have discussed the band descriptors. We've talked about the structure, all right? The structure of the writing task 2. The writing task 2 generally have a way. There's a way, okay, to go about it. The structure is such that you are going to end up with 4 paragraphs. The first paragraph is the introduction. Second paragraph is your first body paragraph. Third paragraph is your second body paragraph, and then we have your conclusion as your fourth paragraph. You can call it a conclusion or a final statement. It's all correct, okay? So we have 4 paragraphs all in all. in your introduction, you will see what makes up an introduction. An introduction is constructed from your question prompt and then your specific statement. The general statement, which is your question prompt, and the specific statement. Your general question or your general statement is the question you are asked, paraphrased. And we did say that for you to paraphrase, you need to make use of words that are called synonyms, such that you are saying the same thing with using different words, but you have not changed the meaning, okay, of the statement. There are different ways of saying this, so you need to know which way apply to what you're doing per time. And then the first and second body paragraph, which is your body paragraph generally, is dependent on the kind of question that you are asked. For instance, if you are doing an agree or disagree kind of question, your first body paragraph should talk about all of your points that you want to agree on, and then your second body paragraph should talk about a point and then a concession. A concession is a point against your strong point, and that will help you to create a balance such that you are telling your examiner that you know what you're doing, you understand that this and this and this are the parts of the question, but you are going with the side where you're comfortable with. And I did mention that for your opinion questions, your very strong points, your convincing points should come first. You need to do what we call, we say first impression matters. So you bring in your first points that are very strong. That way your work is arranged. You don't lose mark for your cohesion, okay? You don't lose mark for the flow of your work, and then the examiner knows at a glance what you are trying to do. So in an opinion essay, generally, your first body paragraph is talking about your strong points, and it's talking about the part where you agree or disagree. And then your second body paragraph is talking about one of your points, which could be an agreement or a disagreement, and then a concession as well. That's what makes up your body paragraphs for an opinion essay. For a both-sided and opinion essay, you are going to be having your first body paragraph carrying points that is for one side of the argument. Your second body paragraph will carry point that is for the other side of the argument. And then in your conclusion is where you're going to be mentioning your opinion. Remember, as much as possible, not to bring in your opinion in a both side and opinion essay from the beginning. Do not bring in your opinion from the beginning of your statement in a both side and an opinion essay. Generally, in the conclusion, for both of them, it is a summary of your points, okay? And then you reaffirming again or confirming or reiterating or restating, all right, on your point, restating your stand. And then in a both side and an opinion, it is you stating your point. In a both side and opinion essay, you are going to summarize point 1 and 2, what you have in your first and second body paragraph for me, and then you're going to tell me what side you support. That this and this are like this, and this other side is like this, but I am of the opinion that what? You state your opinion. Today, we are going to be talking about a 2-question essay. We generally talked about the 3 types of questions that you will find, all right, in IELTS Tax 2. We have classified all other types of questions. We brought them into 3. And every opinion essay, whether it is argumentative, whether it is debative, whether it is opinion essay, agree, disagree, strongly agree or disagree, or whatever, to what extent do you agree or disagree? We've classified them and brought them all under the opinion essays. And then in the both sides and opinion essay is where we have whether you think when you are going to discuss both sides of the opinion, both sides of the argument, both sides of the view, and then you will tell me what you think. You tell me your own suggestion, your assumption, or your own conclusion of the matter. Today, we will be talking on one of them, or the last one of them, which is the 2-question essay. The 2-question essay sometimes is known as a problem and solution essay, although for me, I do not accept this because it is not always about problems and solutions. So, sometimes it could be cause and effect, sometimes it could be cause and consequences, And sometimes they could be asking you, you know, potential solutions to problems. So saying that his problem solution is always not too good, so I decided to call it, like other scholars called it as well, two-question essay, where you are meant to answer one question in two ways. All right, you are answering it, all of them put together is one question, but you are expected to answer one side and the other side. It's another side of the both side and opinion essay, but here there's no opinion at all. In the two-question essay, it is the same way that you discuss both side and opinion essay, but you are not going to be stating any opinion at all. So in your conclusion, you're just going to conclude for both of your sides that you have discussed. I don't know, am I making sense to anybody? Does it make sense to you? It's not making sense, Ijoma. Two-question essay, they ask you a two-question essay. They said you should talk about the consequences, the causes and the consequences. You are going to be discussing the causes and the consequences, and your conclusion will be a summary of both causes and the consequences. There's no opinion there. That's what I've just said. If you have an opinion essay, you have both sides an opinion essay. In your conclusion, you are expected to tell me your opinion. Okay, you are expected to discuss both views. You are expected to discuss one side and the other side in different paragraphs. In two-question essay as well, you are expected to discuss this and that in two different paragraphs. But for opinion essay, you are expected to tell me your opinion in your conclusion. But in the both sides and opinion, there's no, in two-question essay, there's no opinion for you. So all you do is to summarize your point. Okay, so here you have questions that will ask you, what problem does this cause and what are some potential solutions? You have questions like that. It's under two-question essay. You have questions like, what are the causes of these problems and what are some potential solutions? You can find that. You have questions that will ask you, do you agree to this? And then what are the solutions? Okay, they will ask you to profile possible solution to some things. Sometimes they will ask you, what are the causes of a particular thing, and then what are the effects? You know, the causes and the effects, or the causes and the consequences. Here we will see a task at the end of the day. Okay, we see a task at the end of the day that will help you to understand this question more. In the introduction, okay, I talked about the structure of the writing task 2 generally, where I said we have 4 paragraphs. Okay, so if you have a both side and if you have a two-question essay, how do you do your introduction? What should come in your first body paragraph, or in your second body paragraph, and in your conclusion? The introduction is the same for every other one. Here you are going to be telling me the general statement and the specific statement. All right, so if you see a question, the general statement is the question prompt, and then your specific statement is your assignment at that point. How do you get your general statement? By underlining your keywords and then getting synonyms for those keywords, paraphrasing them using your own words, and stating the same thing that they have said, but using different words and in a different way, not changing the meaning at all. What is your specific statement? Your specific statement could be that the essay is going to be discussing the cause and the effect, or the essay is going to be discussing the causes and the solution, or the essay is going to be discussing the advantages and the disadvantages of a particular thing. In your first body paragraph, you are expected to write on one side. If you have been asked for advantages and disadvantages, for instance, you are going to be writing on the advantages first in your first body paragraph, which is your second paragraph for the essay. In your first body paragraph, you tell me all of the advantages of that particular thing that they are talking about, giving an example or citing an instance, okay? And then in your second body paragraph, you talk about the disadvantages, giving an instance as well. And then in your conclusion, you are going to be talking about the advantages and the disadvantages summarized. That is all about a 2-question essay. Any question?
You said for the one for the disadvantage and advantage, that the first paragraph will be what?
It depends on what they ask you. If they say disadvantages first, write on disadvantages. If they say advantages first, write on advantages. But the usual way of asking those questions is advantages and disadvantages. So you pick the first one that they have asked and answer it, and then you pick the second and answer it as well.
Okay. So in such example,
You cite an example and I'll tell you what comes first.
Okay. I'll think of one. Thank you.
Okay?
Yeah.
So you said the conclusion will contain both the causes and the effects.
Yes, a summary of your body paragraph 1 and 2. A summary of it is what will be in your conclusion.
Thank you.
Further questions, please. Further question. Further question, please. Does it mean we all understand it?
No, I want to find out, should we state if it's a disadvantage question, are we going to state it in the first in the introduction?
I don't get what you're asking.
Okay, for example, if it's a advantage disadvantage question, are we going to say, for example, in the introduction that this essay will discuss okay, this essay will discuss
But
the
I did
advantage.
mention that. I did mention that, didn't I? In the introduction, I said that this essay will be discussed. When I was talking about your specific statement. Your specific statement is your assignment, your task in that question that you have been asked. So if they have asked you the causes and the effect, this essay will be discussing the causes and the effects. If they have asked you about the advantages and the disadvantages, this essay will be discussing the advantages and the disadvantages. That's what I said. You are muted.
The one I wanted to actually ask was the cause and effect. Would we also still write it there that it's cause and effect?
The essay will be discussing the causes and the effects of what? Remember, you are paraphrasing. Remember, you should have other words for cause and effect. Okay? So you need to tell your examiner exactly what you're going to be doing. That way they know what to look out for in your writing task. From your introduction, you need to tell me what your assignment is. So what is your specific statement if you don't state it? You need to state it. Remember I said that your introduction is made up of your what? The specific statement and the general statement. The general statement is your question prompt, paraphrased, using synonyms. Your specific statement is your assignment, is your task, is what they have asked you to do. They have asked you to discuss the causes and the effects or the consequences. Whatever they have asked you, using synonyms, state it that this is my assignment here in your introduction. Then go to your first body paragraph, pick the first part of the question. If they have asked you for the causes of a particular thing, discuss the causes in your first body paragraph. Go to your second body paragraph, discuss the consequences in your second body paragraph. Go to your conclusion, discuss or summarize the causes and the consequences in your conclusion. That's all. is still confused? Eunice, you are still confused.
No, I'm not confused. I'm like what you just said. The first paragraph is to paraphrase the topic. That's what is expected.
And state your first paragraph is your specific and general statement. The specific statement is your task. The general statement is the paraphrase of the question prompt. Both of them together will make your introduction.
Yeah. I get it now. Okay. Then, sorry, the second one is what, please?
Your second part and your third part is the part of the question. It depends on what question you are asked and what you have been told to do. Take one of the tasks and do it per paragraph.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Are we all clear on this? Because we need to move. We are all clear. All right. I'm sharing my screen. There's a task for all of you. Let's see. Share screen. You can take a screen grab so you don't keep asking what the question is. Or you don't ask me to send the question again. Take a screenshot of this. I think it's bold enough, isn't it? Have we taken a screen grab? Now I want you to follow these steps. Look at your screen. Follow these steps.
Please, ma, can you send it as a message? I can't.
You were
I've not been
supposed to
able...
either screen grab it or write it. Follow these steps that is here. These steps. Task analysis. You know what the question is about. You have to note the two sides to be discussed. You plan the essay. Excuse me. Underline keywords and note down useful synonyms. Next is that you are going to decide what kind of response is required of you. Brainstorm your key points for the answers. Decide on the structure. What is the structure? The first one is rephrase the topic and introduce both questions. This essay will discuss or discusses ... Question 1, write exactly 2 main points to support with response. Question 2 response, write exactly 2 main points. Conclusion, summarize your main points about each of the question. Do you understand this step?
Yes.
You can take a screenshot of this if you can. Take a screenshot so you have it on your phone and you follow it step by step. Remember I said that we have 4 paragraphs all in all. The structure. From this, decide the structure, introduce your question, response to one side, response to the other side, and then you conclude. Here you don't have an opinion at all. Nobody is asking your opinion. Summarize what you have written in second and first body paragraphs. Do you understand?
Yes.
This is the question. You that didn't get the question before.
I was about asking, ma. Good evening, ma.
Good evening. This is the question. The question says the use of illegal drugs such as heroin and cocaine are becoming more and more common in many countries. What are some of the problems associated with drug abuse? and what are the possible solutions? What are some of the problems associated with drug abuse and what are the possible solutions? You have 25 minutes to write me an essay based on what you have done. You have 25 minutes. The remaining time we're going to analyze it. You have 25 minutes, all right? 25 minutes to write this essay. Let your adrenaline flow. Type
Sorry,
it.
I'm trying to type it.
Type
Please,
it. You are
hold on.
typing your question, your answer. You are typing it and sending it to everyone.
I'm trying to type the question. Please give me some time.
You don't have to type the question.
I couldn't screenshot it.
But the question is here on the screen now.
Okay. Let me just.
The question is on the screen. You can take a screenshot or just quickly write it down.
That's what I want to do.
Okay. Have you finished writing? Your time starts now. By the time it is 5:25, we stop. Please don't tell me you have written it and you are not responding. It's good if we respond and we make corrections, okay? For the sake of those that will be joining the class, I'm going to just type it as a task on chat. Miriam, did you get the question? I'm typing it now. Oh, why can't I type? Chat. Okay. The question is there now, Marianne and the rest that have not, that didn't get it. Remember, based on what I showed you, I said that you should know what the question is about. The question is asking you the problems that are associated with drug abuse. Problems associated with drug abuse and solutions to those problems. One of the best ways to get good scores in your exam is to give related answers. What do I mean by related answers? I mean that when you create a problem from this kind of an essay, profile the solution to this particular problem. When you discuss a problem, discuss the solution to that problem. That's one way to have a good score with your writing skills when you write.
Without òjijì.
After typing your introduction, please go ahead with the other sides. With first, second body paragraphs, go ahead with your a conclusion so that we can have everything at once. You can't have 25 minutes just for introduction. I hope you know that. Wow. Becca Foundation, I'm seeing your typing on YouTube. Thank you very much for attempting. I may not have all the time to do all of that and all of the correction or whatever, but I'm going to be talking about it from here. Okay. So if you're watching us on YouTube, go ahead, write your introduction like she has done. Continue with the body paragraphs. All right. I will come to it later to answer you one-on-one. Please ensure that your microphone is muted. Wow, this is good. Thank you. Keep the YouTube comments coming. I'm seeing them. Good job you are doing there, Folashade. Thank you. I'm seeing your work. I'm going to be commenting in a short while. This is good. Okay. Okay. Do me a favor, if you typed your work together, can you count your words? Can you give me a word count? If you typed your work together, Omolola, everything came together. Can you please count your words? Toyin as well. If you count your words for me. And you still have 3 minutes. Toyin, if you have a look at your conclusion, it's an incomplete conclusion. Have a look. I told you it's a summary. Your conclusion is a summary of your second and third paragraph, which is your first and second body paragraphs. So there is nothing about one side of your conclusion here, one side of your work. Have a look and see if you can correct that, please. Yes, bring your work to a close. Let's see where we can get to with our corrections and our contributions, okay? Pens up. Pens up. Let's do our corrections now. Okay. Are we together? You should stop writing. I've seen the last comment already. You should stop writing. Remember that writing task 2 is 40 minutes. So, and then there you are writing. Here you're typing. If you were able to complete this job in 25 minutes, like I gave us, it means you have good time management for your writing task. If you were able to give me an introduction, a first body paragraph, second body paragraph, and a conclusion. It means you have good time management. Obviously, you've got 15 more minutes left. You understand what we just did, right? So if you have 40 minutes in the live exam where you're writing, and then you have 25 minutes where you're typing, and you were able to conclude, then you have good time management. Kudos. Thank you very much for that. I saw a few of you have finished the task. You were able to. I don't know what's happening to some people, not even an introduction. I hope everyone is okay. I asked if you did not understand what we are doing, and you didn't ask any question. Now we gave the task and you didn't do any part of the task. I hope you are okay though. Yeah? So let's go. Amaka, you did not write today. Amaka. Esther, you are still at work. Well done. No. Can you talk? Can you say your introduction? I want to hear your introduction.
Yes, ma, I did. Okay, I'll just read it out, ma.
Not you. Your time has passed. Esther.
Okay. My introduction, I said there is an incredible high in the usage of unauthorized medications. In brackets, and I put heroin and cocaine are seen being unrestricted in many nations. And also, this essay is going to discuss the effect and proffer this remedy.
Okay. The essay is going to discuss the effect. Is that what you are asked?
Yes, said.
You were asked the problems that drug abuse can create, the problem, the challenges, the issues. Nobody asked you the effects.
Okay.
The effect, when they say an effect, it is different from a problem. It is different from a challenge. Okay? All right, you need to use the dictionary, check for the meaning of effect and then the meaning of a problem. In other words, you have missed a side of your introduction, a part in your introduction. Number two, your introduction, from your first line, it was not clear. I didn't get what you were saying. What did you say? There has been a high what?
Incredibly high in the usage of unauthorized medication.
Incredibly high what?
And I'll say in brackets.
Yes, ma'am. It's not correct English. Can you work on that grammar, please? There has been you want to tell me there has been an increase. All right? Okay,
yes.
So the use of illegal medications have increased or is incredibly higher than it used to be. If you must use your high and your incredible. Okay? Please work on that introduction. What are your points? Give me your points.
Okay. Now said, the availability of these drugs are said to have a huge effect on youth of our nations, such as school dropout and increased crime in the society. Now said, the increased consumption has led to lack of concentration in academic careers, thereby leading to...
Continue.
Okay. Okay, the increased consumption has led to lack of concentration in the academic careers, thereby leading to uncompleted education. It also increases crimes such as stealing, bribery, and corruption. For example, due to its addiction, some go out of their ways to steal money so as to buy and take this illegal medicine.
You see that you have jam-packed your points. You are stating different points and you are just not linking them the way you should. You are talking about them dropping out of school. Lack of concentration is one of the problems, and at the end they end up as dropouts. Okay, they end as school dropouts and they become useless members of the society. Then it increases crime rate as well, like stealing and robbery and all of that, because they go out of their way to look for. So now you have 2 or 3 points and you have put them together and you didn't like separate them. Yeah. So if you were talking about it from the beginning, like you started and you said they lack concentration, okay, in class, and they end as dropouts in school, becoming like non-profitable members of the society. In addition, it increases the crime rate in the society or in the environment, as these people engage in different things like stealing so as to, be able to afford these drugs or these substances that they abuse. Now you will have 2 points if you have said that to me. And then, for instance, you can now give me your example. All right? For instance, you now give me your example. And then I would have rated you very, very well. But you need to create like a barrier between your points, so that when you remove that barrier from the point, you bring in a linking word, a cohesive device, and you join them together. At the end of the day, you've got 2 or 3 points. And these are strong points. Please don't just speak English. Don't use English to confuse me as your teacher. And at the end of the day, I've only taken 1 point from what you have said. And then I will mark your grammatical errors as well. And you will lose marks again, despite giving me 1 point. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Good. What is your solution?
Okay, I say, with regards to this, it is necessary the government should put a restriction on its availability and ban any medicine store that will sell this medicine without a hospital prescription. Furthermore, anybody found taking this drug without prescription should be penalized.
Good. Now you have 2 points. The government, there should be a ban on these drugs so that they are no longer available, and there should be stipulated punishment for people who are caught abusing these medications. Now, you have used nursing English prescription to cover up your faults or your errors. You've got 2 points that are linked to the ones you gave me at first, which is a good thing. All right. You talked about its availability, which now makes them to freely take it. Now, you are talking about punishment when they engage in this drug as a result of maybe stealing sometimes as well. They should be punished. There should be stipulated punishment for offenders of whatever sort, including drug abuse. You need to put this point down and look for the English you will speak, Esther, that you will join these things together and give me a complete writing. A ban on their availability or a restriction on their availability and punishment, stipulated punishment, is good for your points. They are related, fantastic, but you need to put them together. Okay? Do you understand?
Yes.
So now go ahead and keep writing. As you listen to the other corrections we are doing, you need to write that again and send it to the mail. Send it to the mail. Write it with those 2 points for each of them and send it to the mail. This is the email address. Where is it? overseernurses@gmail.com. Please write this same one and send it to the mail. Do you understand? Don't look for any other points.
Yes.
Just these points that you have raised is enough for me. but make sure you write with correct English. Try to do away with some of those English about prescription. You have talked about the ban already, that there should be a ban. There should be restriction on the availability, and you are talking about any pharmacy. Forget about pharmacy. Pharmacy can come in your example. For instance, any areas or people who are seen selling these things can be, fined. You can talk about that as your example. All right. Okay, so before I go too much, I just want to read some things here and we clarify. And then I'll also pick one or two from the YouTube and we will correct them as well. The first person that sent this, the consumption of illicit drugs like heroin and cocaine are now popular in a lot of countries. This essay will discuss challenges arising. Please, the essay will discuss the challenges. Let a THE will discuss the challenges, all right, arising from indiscriminate use of drugs. Can we have another word for this drug? Of substances, intoxicating substances, okay, as well as how to overcome such. Can we have another word for challenges? Remember what I told you. You need to underline your keywords and then you tell me what word you are replacing with in your writing. As you replace them, I see them. In the whole of this write-up, we see that our keywords are what? Use, number one. Illegal drug, illegal, drug, okay? Increase, more and more, is common. Countries is a keyword. Then problems is a keyword. Then solution is a keyword. Problem is a keyword, solution is a keyword. If we are going to get synonyms for these keywords, I think we should do that before we continue. What other word can we say for use in this context? What other word, Eunice?
Intake.
Intake.
Yeah.
Thank you. What other word, Linda? If I call your name, unmute and tell me a word. What other word can you use for use in place of use?
I can't remember one.
Use. Okay, Amaka, give me a word for use.
Okay, ma'am. Consumption.
Consumption, thank you. Uchenna, give me a word for use. Are you in this class at all? Uchenna.
Yes, ma'am, in the class, but I just passed. I was driving earlier.
Okay. Well, give me another word for use.
Utilize.
Utilize. Does utilize apply in the context we are talking about?
Yes, I think it does.
Okay, so give me your introduction with utilize.
Okay, let me go through the. Oh, sorry, will not go.
Okay, so which one will go? Give me a word that will go.
The use of illegal
Okay.
drugs.
Austin, please give me a word for drug.
Medicine.
Give me a word for drug.
Medicine.
Sorry?
Medicine.
Medicine. Okay. Give me a word, Tony, for illegal.
Illegal.
Omolola, give me a word for illegal. Unmute yourself. Click on your microphone.
Illicit.
What? Illicit. Thank you. Olajumoke, give me another word for illegal.
Unlawful.
Thank you. Olajide, give me another word for illegal.
I only know of illicit.
Illicit.
Yes.
Okay. Ese Ogene, give me another word for illegal. Sami Pelumi, are you in this class? Hello, Pelumi, are you in this
I said
class?
illicit is the only one I remember, but I'll
I'm
still
not
keep
talking
it.
about you again. Pelumi, are you in this class? I have to remove you. Okay. Miriam, give me another word for drug abuse. Marian.
Substance abuse.
Substance abuse. Give me a word for associated. Give me a word for
Yes, ma'am.
associated. If you are watching us on YouTube, go
Related.
ahead and type the words. Okay, I'll see some of them. Just go ahead, type the synonyms for these words that we have identified. Miriam, give me a word for related, for associated. I've just said it. Okay, related, connected to.
Related.
All right, they're associated
Related,
with.
ma.
Yes, I've said it already. Connected to, related, and all of that. They are all words that can be used in place of associated. So if you ask me to paraphrase this now, and I say, the consumption of illicit medications has increased in many nations. All right. This essay will discuss some of the challenges related with substance abuse and proffer probable solutions, or proffer probable ways, or suggest probable ways or remedies to this. Solutions, remedy, ways of resolving or resolutions. Okay, so if I read, in many nations of the world, there is increase in authorized use of illicit medicines. There is an increase in the authorized use, unauthorized use, sorry. There is an increase, please. Okay, this essay will be discussing some of the issues related to or associated with, like you have said. But if you can get other words to use instead of picking words directly from what the examiner has used on your question prompt, that will really be lovely. Pelumi, when you join this class again, put your video on. If you are not putting your video on and you are not participating in the class, I'll take you out again. All right, Austin, just take that correction, all right? Okay, this essay will be discussing some of the issues, good, associated with illegal drug use. Before highlighting, instead of saying before highlighting, and highlight, all right, and highlight, before highlighting, Looks like you're listening to me. And highlight some ways through which they can be resolved. I will accept that. In our society, there is a rise in the consumption of illicit drugs like cocaine and heroin. This essay will discuss the challenges caused. Wow. No, it's not the challenges caused. If you are going to use caused, then you should talk about the issues. You should talk about the problems. But if you are talking about challenges, just talk about the challenges related to the use of this substance and also highlight the measures. Thank you. And also highlight, please make that correction, and also highlight the measures to remedy this situation. To remedy this situation will be okay for me. The consumption of illicit drugs such as heroin and cocaine is becoming rampant in many countries, in many nations, okay? This essay will look into the detrimental effects. I'm not asking you effect, ma. And you profile solution to it, and profile solution. So if you correct that detrimental effect, okay, in the course of you looking for words to use or you looking for how you can impress your examiner, please don't overdo it with too much English, because you will have issues at the end of the day. There are numerous issues that can result from drug abuse. One of them is school dropout. When a student engages in consumption of substances that are not prescribed, it will affect his or her performance in school. As a result of the poor results, did you see that? As a result of the poor results, once it has affected their performance, as a result, they could be expelled from the institution. They could either be expelled from the institution. If you have two things to say, make a choice between them. They could either be expelled from the institution or be overburdened by the constant failure and decide to give up on attending school. For example, I have a problem with you quoting figures. For example, did you do any study? Did you read any study of a truth from Niger that is like this? Number two, did you see this question before time for you to have read and crammed something that has to specifically do with a number from a research? Can this research be proven? As much as possible, please avoid quoting research work in your writing task 2. The only place where figures should be seen is in your writing task 1, and that's because the question has given you figures for you to write with. You have figures for you to write with. If in the course of the question, you have seen that over 20% of underdeveloped countries have their youth engaging in illicit drug, that way you can bring in figures. That way, if they had quoted a figure for you in your question, you can bring in that figure, all right, to the answer. Other than that, please avoid quoting figures. You can say, if you want to give an example like this, you can say something like, many school dropouts, okay, are related to the use of illicit drugs, unauthorized drugs, indiscriminate use of drugs, as it has resulted in them maybe not concentrating in class, all right, because of the addiction and all of that. You can give an example in that form. Please don't quote figures that cannot be verified. The availability of illegal drugs in our society nowadays have led to high consumption So you are talking about availability. Let me see your solution. No, I've not seen any solution. As their name implies, they are termed illegal because they have a capacity to do trade. I don't need that sentence. When these drugs are ingested, okay, they affect the THEY, they affect all the systems of the body, causing malady to the body, such as causing disease conditions like liver cirrhosis, kidney damage, alteration in neurotransmitters in the brain, resulting in brain damage. Now, the use of moreover here is not allowed. Using moreover in a sentence, it means you are overhauling your previous sentence or paragraph. Moreover, like I make a statement like I had to cancel a shift because I checked on my transport app and I discovered that I can't get transport to get to work and appear on time. Moreover, I'm not even needed in the shift anyway. I'm buttressing the fact that even though I didn't go for that shift, it's not like it's any serious thing because I'm not even needed in the first place. So if you tell me moreover here, instead of using a furthermore, because I can understand that you're trying to buttress this point, and you're giving me another point to show that the use of illicit drugs should be banned or is not correct, then the use of moreover has overhauled the paragraph you have made and it has made it useless at the end of the day. So please, when you use these cohesive devices, know what to use where and when. All right?
Glory.
What to use where and when. Mama Glory, you're supposed to be muted. I've muted you. Don't unmute again. Thank you. All right? So please, moreover, no. Furthermore, in addition, more so. Oh, Joy Agagwu. Are we all seeing the write-up? You people should be correcting me when I'm making mistakes. I read Miriam. Where is Miriam? Miriam is the owner of that write-up. And she said more so, but I read moreover. She is very, very correct. And your tutor has read wrongly. Okay? I didn't see the rest part of it. I read moreover instead of more so. So she has written more so, which is correct. More so, she's trying to buttress the same fact that it has led to the loss of productivity at the workplace and increased divorce rate. Marian, please, 2 points is okay for me. If you tell me about the disease condition is causing, and then there are lots of productivity at the workplace because maybe they cannot concentrate in their work, I'm okay with it. Because if you list too many points, your example is going to be an issue. You can't give an example that will be relative to, you know, all of those points. Can't give one example that will relate to all of those points. Thank you very much. So if you remove one of them, you can choose one of them, all right? Any of them. You can choose to talk about the high rate of divorce that it will cause and their involvement in social vices, or you can talk about their the lack of productivity at workplace and, all right, the disease condition it will cause. Now, at the end, you have 4 points here from what I can see, 4 or 5 for one paragraph. That's too many points, don't you think so? Yeah? Leave some of the points for other people now. It's a good thing. I like the fact that your brain was enacted to think, and you were very diverse in your thinking, that you could quickly get this. You had to brainstorm to get all of these points. So I like the fact that you were able to brainstorm and you have so many points. That's the more reason why I did advise us last week that we should jot our points down so that you take the strong ones, the very strong ones that you know you can defend. Write them first. I'm expecting just 2 points from you for that one paragraph. Okay? So if you pick any of the two and write again while we are doing this correction, it will be lovely. Thank you. And
Yes,
please
ma.
check your spellings as well. Check your spellings. Very, very crucial. Check your spellings. This essay will be discussing
Thank you, ma.
associated problems of illicit drug and the possible solution to this menace. Where is your introduction before you say this essay? I didn't see any write-up, or you just started by saying this essay we discussed. If that's what you did, then you're wrong. If that's not what you did, please try to let your work be together so I don't misjudge you or read wrongly. You're supposed to have said something. There's a general statement before your specific statement. You started with the specific statement. I like the way you attacked it. Illicit drug used lead to mental. I like the way you just attack the thing. You're not beating around the bush and you're not saying firstly, secondly, thirdly. Remember I told us to avoid the use of firstly, secondly, because it looks like we're counting. If you use firstly, secondly, you should make sure you continue using it. If not, if you use firstly and you say something and use moreover, or you use more so, you use words, linking words or verbs like in addition and furthermore, however, therefore, and all of that, your examiner is going to be counting 1 point. Firstly, where is your second point? Meanwhile, your second point is lost inside that place. The places where we're allowed to itemize things and to discuss in that manner is when we have, in writing task 1, maybe you are discussing a process graph or something. All right? Okay. So illicit drug use, also abuse of cocaine causes. I've seen that your 2 points are together, but there's no example. It therefore made your paragraph to be really short. Your first paragraph is really, really short. However, the following are the possible solutions. You don't have to state them. Okay? There should be strict control and regulation. That's good. Of drug use acts within each countries. Again, the youth should have a meaningful, fully empowered. That's your grammar, please. Mind your grammar there. That the youth should be empowered, if that's what you want to say. But I wouldn't know, and I'll mark you wrong if I see this kind of an essay. So you need to make your point clearly. Please, we had time. I know it was a rush, but remember that if you did this in 25 minutes, you can do better in 40 minutes. Do you get the point? If you were able to do this in 25 minutes, it means you have the tendency to score an excellent marks when you are given 40 minutes, because there you will be able to go through your work and make this correct. Some of these grammatical corrections that I'm making is because you didn't have time to go through it, okay? Especially with the spellings and the construction of the grammar. If you had gone through it, if you had time to go through it, I'm sure some of us will identify this grammar and correct that. However, we need to be very, very careful. Yeah? Conclusively, the impact of illegal drug use is highly destructive to human health and the society at large. Hence, the government of each country should promulgate laws, remove a law, promulgate laws to regulate the use, to regulate the consumption. If you have use another word in place of it, okay? Okay, and there should be strict control of all products being imported to the country from other sources. You gave a solution to one of your problems. Where is the solution to the other one? You talked about health issues. What about educating them? I expected health education here, okay, on the dangers of engaging in such acts. And then the government can enact laws that punish offenders, okay, restrict the use of these drugs so that we can have a safer environment and a society that is productive as well. Thank you for that attempt. If you just, effect your correction, that would be good.
Thank
Good.
you, ma.
This person started with an example. It is becoming increasingly prevalent to see people presenting at emergency room as a result of overdose of such drugs. And this is fast becoming a public health issue. For example, a lot of well-known artists have been known again. Many artists, if you say many famous artists, okay, many famous artists use large doses or engage in this act, if you just say that, or they take large doses of illegal drugs and they die leaving their children to follow in such trends. You started well, oh, but your grammar here is please, can you just reconstruct this your example again? Okay, reconstruct your example. Now, from the way you started, one of the problems is that there's an increase in public health issues. Okay, the health institutions they are overwhelmed. So if you say that, I will like it. The health institutions are overwhelmed with having to care for people who have been involved in one drug overdose or the other. Let me look for the solution. What solution did you give to this? You were not able to type a solution, did you? Were you? Laws should be put in place to ban illicit, okay, and punishment commensurate, okay, and there should be a ban on the sales and purchase of such drugs. That's good. So now you have talked about public health issues. Furthermore, some of the drugs come at a high cost to individuals who engage in it. Such individuals may not be able to purchase. They engage in robbery and even murder to have access to buying these drugs. It can cause damage to the society. What form of damage?
Increased crime rates.
Did you write it? Do you think your examiner will come to your house and ask you? Good. The only way I can know is when you put it down. So if you did not put it down, it's as well as you don't know it. That's why you didn't write it. So many of the things that I have read, you were supposed to remember that you were supposed to write for me a paragraph talking about the problems it causes, and another paragraph talking about the what? The solutions. I'm still looking for some solutions. I've not found any. Nowadays, there has been a lot of controversy on illegal. There's no controversy, ma. There's no controversy. The question is not asking true or false, or yes or no, or agree or disagree. If the question was asking about agree or disagree, you can talk about the controversy, because obviously some people agree and some don't agree. Okay? Mary, the mother of Jesus. There's no controversy here. The question is telling us that there has been an increase, and that's the point. There's an increase. Omolola, I'll take you out of my class if your video is still off. There has been an increase, and that is what it is. So there's no controversy. So the essay will discuss the harmful effect of substances such as cocaine and heroin and the way it can be resolved. That's your, I hope you know I'm not accepting that introduction. Please write it again, all right? Write it again, effecting the correction, minding your grammar as much as possible. Yeah? More nations are now encountering the incessant problem of drug abuse. This essay will discuss the problems it is causing and the way out. Why not look for something else for me in place of this problem, and then your introduction will be a fantastic one. Doing. There are various outcomes of drug misuse in many. You see, drug abuse, drug misuse, I will accept it in many nations, which are but not limited to stealing and rape. It has been discovered that once an individual takes illegal drugs such as heroin, the thinking level changes. You can see what I'm reading. I'm making corrections for you. The thinking level will change, which will, so instead of me reading that tautology for you, I'm reading the thinking level changes, all right, making him to commit crimes that ordinarily he will not if he were to be with his clear eyes or memories. For instance, last month in Nigeria, a man, after taking her drug, entered a woman's house, raped her, and took away her belongings under the influence of drugs. I like this kind of an example. You didn't quote any figure. And this is not a research work. It was on the news. But you have only given me one thing. You have only explained one thing, such as stealing and rape. This man raped the woman and he stole. This example is really, really good. But I'm expecting you to give me another point in addition to this. It's too brief. What is this? Toyin. Where is she? Toyin is here. It's too brief, don't you think so? Give me another point to add to it. To profile way out of this problem, the government should make a law which will make the abusers to suffer for their wrongdoings. Just say punish the abusers. For example, anybody caught, okay, in the act of rape, having sex with a woman without her consent, should be jailed for life. Likewise, so what consequences? They should be made to face the consequences. What is the consequences for stealing? I like your work, but I need you to elaborate more, add more Oyibo to it, add more grammar so that it can come out a little bit. Be more expressive. You are too, you are too tight-fisted with the use of words. Okoli Blessing, you are welcome.
Thank you, ma.
Okay. Olajumoke Dayo Adelusi, can you please put on your video, please? Thank you very much. In conclusion, to avoid the problem of substance abuse, where is the other part? In conclusively or in conclusion, the use of substances or substance abuse can cause what? The stealing and rape you talked about, you didn't mention it. And now you are just talking about one side of the solution. You're talking about the solution. What happens to the problem? Remember, I told you that your conclusion is a summary of what? Your second and third paragraphs, which is your first and second body paragraphs. Okay? That's what your conclusion should be, please. So if you see that if you had talked about the other side, it will increase your word count as well. I'm sure this word is not up to 250. Toyin, did you count your words? Toyin, how many words do you have?
I did not count.
It's not going to be up to 250, I can assure you. But if you had brought in the other side of it and tried to open up a bit and be more expressive with your points, yeah, then you can make up your words up to 250. You've got really valid points and your examples are relating to the point you have given, which is a good one, yeah? Keep that up, but you need to be more expressive. You need to open up. You need to say more. I'm not satisfied with this short work.
Okay, ma.
It's too brief. The solution to this problem is banning the sales Okay, that is for Austin. That's for your second body paragraph, I guess. Your conclusion. In conclusion, there's an increase. In conclusion, it is a known fact that the use of illicit drugs has been on the increase globally. This has led to many dropping out of school and reducing their productivity in the society. However, if the government can can enact laws that punish offenders, all right? You talked about the government banning it. So if the government can ban these medications, that way what will happen? People can be punished, okay, when they are caught, and then the fear of that can make them not to engage in it, and the society can be a better place. Thank you, Austin. You need to put your work together. Your conclusion should be a summary of all of your points. Yeah? In recent times, it has been noted. Amaka, you submitted this work after I said we should stop, Abby? Or you sent it before then?
No, ma. Yes, ma. I think it's nice work. I sent.
You sent it at about 5:26 after I had said we should stop.
No, ma. I sent it. I think it's now.
The time is all here. The time is all here. Okay.
I sent it.
It's fine, Mary. It's okay. I've seen your notes. Okay, you're talking about laws and regulations. Overall, okay, there are a couple of measures to salvage the menace caused by these drugs. The government should enact potent laws on the usage of illicit drugs so as to control its consumption. In addition, social support groups should be organized for substance abusers so as to support them at alcohol anonymous groups. More so, constant medical checkups is important for drug abusers so as to dictate early deviation from normal physiology and treat them immediately. This is a perfect conclusion based on what I read earlier, but you didn't tell me which points you have chosen. So if you have listed all those points and you have given me this, based on your conclusion, can you go to your the point you gave me and just pick the ones that are related to it, add it together, and you have a perfect write-up? Okay? Add it together, you have a perfect write-up. Yes. Overall, I've seen like to conclude, the higher intake of unlawful medication poses a lot of health issues or a lot of issues such as moral misendeavors. Your spelling is not correct, ma. Health issues, high rate of divorce, and even death. However, there are ways to curb these challenges. However, these challenges could be curbed if there are laws in place to regulate, okay, the use, creation of anonymous groups, all right, and family support to eventually help them in rehabilitation. Amaka, I've corrected your conclusion. I hope you heard what I said, because even me, I don't know what I said.
I'm stressed out today.
All right.
My children,
I know, it's fine. It's fine. Over the years, over the months, I've seen that many of us have increased, we have increased and we have improved, all right, in our writing skills, which is a good thing. You know, the truth is that when you teach writing, you want to get the most perfect. Some of your writings here will give you a 6.5 or even a 7. That's the truth. But being a teacher, you will want like a near perfect kind of something, because number one, you don't know what's going to happen on the exam day. Maybe you become tensed and you will not write as much as you will do here. Okay, if I say based on this one, you should go and register now. What if you are tensed in the exam hall and you are not able to put down points like you're doing now? You know, you are in a relaxed environment here now. Nobody knows you. Everybody is learning. We're all together. But in the exam hall, merely looking at the invigilators, they are not the ones that will mark it to. You are already tensed up. By the time they are calling your number to come inside, you are entering inside, they are screening you, you are already shaking. That way, your brain, like I explained to us, we restrict the brain, okay, from thinking. When you're under duress, you're under like stressed, you are stressed, you restrict your brain from thinking right. And if that happens to you, and I give you a go ahead based on what you have written here, it means you're not going to come out with a 7.0 or even an 8 band that I'm looking for. Okay, so you need to keep doing it. I've seen that you have improved, like everybody's essay that I've read here, you have improved, okay, but you need to keep writing. I'm just going to do a little bit of review for those on YouTube. Let's see. I hope I'm able to, because I'm logged, I'm going in there also as a student, so it's not going to let me do most of the things that I would have done as an admin. But I will just read them out. I know they are listening. Okay. First of all, to all our YouTube viewers, for those of you that are joining late, we started by talking about the types of essay questions that you will find in Writing Task 2. And we've discussed opinion essays. The video is there for you to watch. If you go back there to about 2 weeks ago was opinion essay we started with. We dealt with both sides and opinion. That was on Tuesday this week. All right. Okay. Saturday last week, exactly 1 week from today, backwards, was opinion essay. Tuesday this week was both sides and opinion. And today we are discussing 2-question essay. We started talking about 2-question essay, and we've discussed our the structure. That the structure of the writing task is where you have 4 paragraphs. Your first paragraph is the introduction, then the first body paragraph, then the second body paragraph, and we have finally our final paragraph, which is the conclusion. For your both sides and opinion essay, different things are expected in all of this structure. Same thing happens for your opinion essay. So kindly go back and have a look at those lessons that we have done before. But for the sake of this lesson of today, we started 2-question essay. We've discussed what you will find, okay? The band descriptors, we talked briefly about them, what is expected of you, the timing and all of that stuff, okay? What is expected in your first paragraph, your introduction. Your introduction is made up of your specific and general statement. The general statement comes from a paraphrase of your question prompt. Your specific statement is the task that you have been given, like what did they say you should do? In the question that we are tackling today, it says the problems. The question says, what are some of the problems associated with drug abuse and what are the possible solutions? What are some of the problems associated with drug abuse and what are the possible solutions? That is what we are doing today. That's our specific statement. So what happens? This essay will discuss the challenges, okay, of substance abuse, the challenges of the use of illicit drug, and the possible ways out, possible remedy, possible ways of resoluting, of resolutions, of resolving them. We said that you should look for the keywords in your question prompt, get synonyms that will fit in, synonyms that you can use in the context of this discussion, all right? Not you going to look for words because they mean the same thing, but they cannot be used in this context. If you do that, you're going to lose marks. So your introduction is general statement, specific statement, put together introduction. First body paragraph, you tell me about the problems associated with drug abuse. What are the problems from all of the questions we have been answering and asking ourselves here? Many of them are talking about school dropout, robbery, rape, engaging in rape, all right? Becoming useless members of the society because there's low productivity at work, poverty rate is increasing as well. Those are the problems, okay? Like when an individual engages in the use of these illicit drugs, as students, They cannot concentrate because it alters neurotransmitters. They lose concentration in class. At the end, they fail, and then they end as dropouts. When they have ended as dropouts in the society, what do? They go in or they take solace in robbery, crime rate increases. They are the ones that commit all the atrocities in the community. All right. Some people here also have talked about the health challenges that are related here, like them having liver cirrhosis, heart diseases, and the rest of them. So all the problems that you can think of, choose 2 of them and discuss them in your first body paragraph, which will be your second paragraph in writing. Go to the solutions. Now, if you had given a problem, please give the solution to that problem, okay? Like some said that it is because these drugs are available, so anybody have access to them. So the government should ban these drugs, okay, from circulating. Allow these drugs to be sold only on prescriptions, okay? That way, there's going to be a reduction in the use. There's going to be like a total ban. If there's a total ban, there will be a reduction in the use of it. Also, if people are engaging in rape, they're engaging in robbery, we have said in this class, I've seen from the solutions that many of you have profiled here, that there should be laws to punish offenders, like imprisonment for life for people that are going into rape. That way, they will not do it. Health issues. People should be health educated on the dangers of the use of this drug so that they can run away from using it. So whatever problem you have identified, please profile solution to that problem. And then in your last paragraph, which is your final paragraph called conclusion, you will tell me conclusively everything that we have discussed. You give me a summary of what the problem is, and then tell me what the solutions are. For instance, you can go ahead and say, in conclusion, the increased use of illicit drugs has resulted in health issues like liver cirrhosis. In addition, there has been an increase in the rate of crimes in the society. However, if the government can enact laws, okay, to ban the availability of these drugs, also place like placards and billboards for health education, okay, organize health education so people can know the dangers of this, then it will reduce, all right, the rate of the effect on the society. The government should do this and this. The people should do this and this. So what, in other words, what you have done is, if I had read your introduction, where you have told me that this is what the question is telling you, and this is what they have asked you to do, I will go to your conclusion and read your conclusion. In your conclusion, I should be able to see the problems you generated and the solutions that you profiled. Is that clear? Is it clear? Very, very clear. Thank you. So I'm just gonna read, let me see. From your work, for those of you on YouTube, I've seen some typographical errors. I don't know if it is typographical error or it is you that do not know the correct spelling. You need to check that out. Okay, drug addiction is one of the major problems that arise from illegal drug use, so you've talked about drug addiction as schizophrenia, mental issues like schizophrenia and the rest of them. I'm looking for your solution. Who is that? A ban. Good. Now you have given me something that is relative to it, which is correct. But it's like you need to check the spelling of profile. To profile solution, you didn't write the correct spelling. I've seen some persons writing wrongly the spelling of, okay, administer, use or consumption, intake. Thank you. They were doing the synonyms as well. Illegal. Illegal is controlled. Related. All right. So please, for those of you on YouTube, I'll still come in there and put some comments under what you have written. I'll read them specifically. It's a good thing that you had an avenue for your voices to be heard as well. I like what has happened here. I see that those of you that wrote, you had gone ahead to give me solutions to the problems that you created. I can see some grammatical errors. See, please work on your grammar, because your examiner is not going to ask you what you mean. They are going to mark what they have seen, and it will reduce your marks. Any question? Any question? A summary of writing task 2. I'm not going to do anything about writing task 2 until about 2 weeks, 3 weeks time. So if you need to know anything about writing task 2, we have done more than enough. We have gone through writing task 2 from beginning to end like 3 or 4 times. And all of the videos are there for you to watch on YouTube. Luckily for us, in most of the classes, we've had different examples, okay, where we solved in class or where we had as assignments. So if you are chanced, okay, if you have some time, please go through the classes that are there on YouTube. They will help you. And if you have any question, just drop them. We'll get the notification that someone had commented and asked a question. We'll go through it and we'll be able to answer you. We'll respond to your question. Writing task 2. Writing task 2 is the writing task where you are asked a question without diagrams. In writing task 1, you have various diagrams, illustrations, maps, and all of that. Task 2 is just a question. Writing task 2, you are expected to write not fewer than 250 words. I had advised us earlier that please don't let your words be more than 280. How are you going to practice doing that? Practice typing on your phone. Typing on your phone using Microsoft Words. It helps you to correct spellings, okay? It helps you also to count your words. It helps you to organize your words, your work as well. Also, writing task 2, you are writing in academic style. You remember when we were in primary school and we come back and they say, how did you spend your last holiday? We're writing a composition. You are composing something. Now they're asking you, people are engaging in drug. What kind of problem can come out from this? And what will you say that we should do so that we will not have these problems? That's what writing task 2 is about. Composition from primary school, where you have sentences, sentence formations. Those sentences joined together with cohesive devices. We used to call them linking verbs. Okay? At this advanced level, they call them cohesive devices, where you have them joined together with your cohesive devices to form a whole composition, a write-up. It's an academic style of writing, like you write in school. Okay? 250 words. Structure is 4 sentences. There are various topic sentences that you will find. Topic sentences that you will find in writing task 2. And I said these topic sentences are what? What and what? Education, innovations, crime, media, technology, social issues, divorce, single parenting, drug abuse, air pollution. Those are the social issues. Technology and the future, then about the environment. So it is very, very important and very convenient to build up vocabularies in these key areas in order for you to have sufficient language to write your essay. Okay? Now, there are different types of questions that you will find in writing task 2. I'm just recapping this class. There are three main types of questions. You will find three main types. Yes, just three. An opinion essay, where you are asked to give your own personal view on a particular topic. A both sides and opinion, where you are required to discuss both sides of an argument and then to give your own opinion or suggestion on that topic. And then a two-question essay, which involves responding to two different questions in one. Under your opinion essays, you have questions that are asking you, what is your opinion? Do you agree or disagree? To what extent do you agree or disagree? Questions that says, do you think that the advantages outweigh the disadvantages? Those are all under what? Opinion essays. The structure of the writing task for the opinion essay, your introduction is the same for all of the essays, where you have your general statement and your specific statement. In an opinion essay, the specific statement is where you are going to state that this essay will discuss your opinion. And if you are able to state your opinion from the beginning, perfect. But if you are not able to, please do not write long English that will end up reducing your marks. Just write, this essay will discuss my opinion. That will cover you for what is your opinion. Do you agree or disagree? To what extent do you agree or disagree? Or do you think that the advantages outweigh the disadvantages? This essay will discuss my opinion covers you for the four of them. Do we understand? Now, in the body of your opinion essay, what should you do? In the body, you are expected to have a body, two body paragraphs and one conclusion. One introduction, an introduction, two body paragraphs and a conclusion. In your first body paragraph, two of your strong points, either you are supporting or you are against, whether you agree or you disagree, whether the advantages are more or the disadvantages are more, whatever side you have chosen, please write two of your strong points and discuss it in your first body paragraph with an example. Second body paragraph, I expect you to have a reason, one of your reasons, and a concession against your strong point. This shows that you understand the topic and you have a good knowledge of it. However, you have decided to support a particular side. That way, your examiner realizes that you know what you are doing. How do you write your conclusion in an opinion essay? In order for you to have an excellent conclusion, you should start by using a phrase that signals that your work is coming to an end. Then you restate the opinion to reinforce it in the mind of your examiner. After this, you should summarize the main points that you have made in the body of the essay, because this is a standard feature of a concluding paragraph, and it will remind the examiner of your key points that you have discussed before, and so you make your opinion much more persuasive. Finally, if you want to write a truly outstanding opinion, I would suggest, and that if you have enough time though, I would suggest that you should summarize all of your points. But if you know that you are running out of time, then writing the body, quickly try to have a conclusion if you are running out of time. Your work must be complete. If not, you are going to score a less mark for your task achievement, for your coherence and cohesion. Because for task achievement, your work should have an introduction, a body paragraph, two body paragraphs, and a conclusion. So if any of them is missing as a result of you running out of time, you are going to automatically have your marks cut short. Also, for your coherence and cohesion, remember that coherence and cohesion shows you the progress of your work. Your coherence, the progression of your work, how ideally you have arranged your work, how logical have you arranged your work. So if you have arranged it from introduction, body paragraph 1, body paragraph 2, and then conclusion is missing, you are going to score a less mark as well for your coherence and cohesion. In sending a signal to your examiner, I have said, please avoid the use of words like to sum up or What other word do they even use? What other word do they use? Words like in a nutshell. Please avoid all those words, because what you are saying may not be in a nutshell. It's not everything you completely agree with. It has asked you whether you agree or you disagree. So you can't say in a nutshell. No, you can say in conclusion. In your conclusion for an opinion essay, ensure that the point you are supporting comes next to your opinion. The point you are not supporting should come first. In conclusion, if, for example, I have written about, let's say, what popular topic have we been writing on in our opinion essay in this class? What popular topic? We've been discussing maybe computers. I've said that the use of computers is good. And I said it is good because one of the reasons is that I can learn at my convenience. Another one is that I have access to materials online, many materials at the same time. I don't have to spend money buying different textbooks. Okay, I can just browse and there I have it, voila. And then my other point, the point against my point is the fact that it is not affordable to everybody. Okay, so now I'm going to say, in conclusion, although the increased use of computers in learning will put some people in a disadvantaged position as they cannot or may not be able to afford these devices. However, it is more convenient to learn and it gives you access to more materials. So you bring in the side you are not supporting ahead of time, and you bring in the side that you support next to it, next to your opinion. So when you say that, it shows that that is the side that you are supporting. That's how to end an opinion essay. In a both sides and opinion, the same introduction, this essay we discuss this and this and this, all right? Then one side of it, you pick it and discuss in your first body paragraph, second side in your second body paragraph. In your conclusion is where you summarize the point and then you say your opinion. You say what? I am of the opinion that. So when you summarize your points, for instance, I have some people saying that the use of computers is good, while others say that it has negative consequences. And I am saying that the computer use helps me to, it grants me access to many materials. It makes learning much more convenient for me. Okay. And then I'm going to, and in the other side of it, where I discuss, I also have 2 points. And I've said that it is not affordable. It places people at a disadvantaged position because not everybody can afford it. And then even when you afford this, then the electricity to power these devices is not available. Now, in my summary, in conclusion, because I'm supporting the side that it is more convenient and all of that, I'm now going to say that in conclusion, the use of computers in learning places people at a disadvantaged position as they are not able to afford it. And even when they are able to buy it eventually, the electricity to power these devices are not available. However, it is more convenient, okay? It is more convenient and you can have access to many materials online. Therefore, I am of the opinion that the use of computers should be encouraged in education. The side I'm supporting comes next to me, and then I state my opinion. And then for your writing task two-way question essay, that's the one that we just did. Your conclusion is only going to talk about a summary of all of the points that you have discussed. That is the end of writing task 2. Any question? Any question? No question. If there's no question, we have come to the end of the class. Our next class shall be a speaking class. Many of the people here are looking for speaking. Some have written before, they have issues with speaking. So I'm going to be doing speaking again. So what we'll do is we'll do writing, speaking, we'll do reading, speaking. So speaking is going to be coming in more frequently because we need to access ourselves like we did, like we did before, and some of us didn't get the opportunity to speak. So if you are here with us by next class, we should be able to do a speaking test for you when we have done the class for the day. In the absence of any other thing, my name is Joy Agagwu, and I've been the anchor for this class. Please, if you are joining us on YouTube, thank you very much for watching, for subscribing. Do drop your questions and I will get back to it. I will try as much as possible to respond to any of the questions that I find there. Yeah. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye-bye. Thank you.